I don't know if you've been outside lately, especially now that schools are finished, but every time I leave the house for a period of longer than 20 seconds, I seem to be presented with a marvellous example of just how stupid kids seem to be nowadays. Whether it's just with the unsubstantiated arrogance that they carry themselves with, or the terrifically dim-witted statements that I hear them say, it's just horrifying to see. Here are a couple of examples. I once overheard a phone conversation from a girl who was describing to her friend her completely infallible plan of how to get a free boob job on the NHS. Her plan was to go to her GP and describe how clinically depressing it was that she didn't have boobs as big as she would like. Now, not only is it incredibly ignorant of her to trivialise a serious mental issue, but it's also a little bit silly of her to think that bigger boobs would solve any problems that she may have in her life. Another prime example, which I hold dear to my heart, I was once threatened with a steel pipe by a group of chavs for using the word stereotypical because they had no idea what it meant. I honestly shed a tear at that moment, partially because I was scared, but mostly because of their lack of vocabulary. And after some, well, I'm not going to say careful thinking, a half-baked idea I have is that I feel I know why the youngsters of today are so stupid. And the answer, my friends, is cartoons. Just hear me out. Nowadays, cartoons and kids shows are so different to how they used to be if you're a 90s kid, because that seems to be a badge of honour nowadays. Now kids have TV shows like Hannah Montana and iCarly, which are basically just centred around egocentric teens that propagate the glamour of fame and worry about which boy may or may not like them. Which then of course has now led to kids shipping characters together. And let me tell you, back in the day when you were watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Every week, you didn't dare ship shit. Because you had no idea if next episode they were going to get their ass banished to the Shadow Realm. And while we're on the subject of Yu-Gi-Oh!, which in my opinion was one of the single greatest animes ever, let's have a look at what it was. Now let's mourn the travesty that it has become. Card games on motorcycles? No. But let's just take a moment to cleanse ourselves.
It's time to do.
Just drink that in. Go back and replay it if you want to. I know I'm gonna. Another trend which seems to have appeared for kids nowadays is the idea that they can sing their way through any issue that they have. And that's not true. That doesn't work. Believe me, I've tried. I was asked never to return to that particular branch of my bank. Back to the main point. Back when I and anybody else my age was younger, we had cartoons like Animaniacs and Dexter's Laboratory, which promoted intelligence as being a good thing. In one single episode of the Animaniacs, we were taught a song that listed every single country in the world and explained the theory of relativity.
Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still.
They do not make them like they used to. So next time you hear a youth coming out with something that makes you question how they have the mental capacity to remember to breathe, don't blame the education system. Blame television. Everybody is doing anyway. Thank you for listening to me rant with flimsy arguments. If you've liked this video, please click like and subscribe if you want to join the Munchkins. Leave a comment and let me know what kind of stuff you watched when you were a kid. And leave a comment and let me know what kind of video you'd like to see me do next. Thank you for watching. I've been Domothy. You've been awesome. Have a wonderful life. See you next week.